For the past few months, I have been scouring flea markets, yard sales, and thrift stores for items that I could use to transition my home from summer to fall. And I think I found some really unique items for very good prices. So let me share with you some of the things that I came across in my thrifting expeditions. Then I'm going to show you what I purchased, and finally, how I'm incorporating it into my current home decor. So let me show you what I brought home. The first items, which is actually the ones that I'm the most excited about, are these gorgeous brass candlestick holders. Now these are really heavy, really good quality. They are made in India. I don't know about you, but at least in my local thrift stores, it's getting harder and harder to find nice brass items. So I was really surprised that these were still on the shelf. And I think it's because they were covered with melted wax. So maybe that scared some people from buying them. But that was such an easy thing to take care of. I just popped them in the freezer for about 15 to 20 minutes. And that makes the wax brittle. So I just scraped it off. Actually, I think I just used my nail because I didn't want to use anything that might scratch the brass. So after that, I polished them with a soft cloth. And here they are in all their glory. They're really gorgeous. I'm really excited that I picked these up for $3.99 each. I'm always on the hunt for interesting tins, especially ones that look very old and vintagey. And I found this gorgeous one for $2.99. And it does open. I'm having a little trouble opening it. Oh, there. So at some point, I suppose this held molasses candy. It is made in England, and I was really drawn to this because of the tarnished gold color, the browns, the muted green. I thought this would be great to add to a fall vignette. You can use it to put flowers in if you put a glass of water in there. So you can display real flowers, faux flowers. You can use it to display vintage silverware. I mean, the uses of these are just endless. And nothing adds charm to a display like a vintage tin. So this was an excellent purchase for $2.99. Something else that is near and dear to my heart is transferware, especially anything with a country scene, rural scene. And I found this one for $3.99 at Goodwill. It does have a crack, if you can see it right there, but it's not really visible from the front. And I just love the colors. It's showing a farmer carrying some hay from his field on a wagon, and the colors just said fall to me because of all of the browns. There's orange, there's yellow, and this is a really nice size platter. I come across plates with the same design sometimes, but it's not as common for me to find platters. So this was a really good find, and again, I couldn't wait to use it for my fall decor. So I've been saving it in a drawer for now, and I'm going to be using it in my wall shelf in the kitchen. I think this will be the perfect complement to the other things that I have displayed on that shelf. I love vintage wool blankets, and when I come across one, I get really excited. So I saw this one at Goodwill, and of course it's plaid. Anything plaid, I just have a hard time passing up. The colors are really beautiful. There is the burgundy, the navy blue, the cream. I got rid of all of my throws and blankets that were synthetic material. So I have been trying to build up my collection of cotton and wool blankets or throws. So this one came at the perfect time because I like to transition my fabrics in the fall to the thicker woolen fabrics. And I was having a hard time finding a price when I was at the store. And so when I actually took it to the counter and I asked how much it was, I think they charged me $3.99, which I thought it was a great deal. It's in really good condition, has the fringe. So this is another item that's going to make my house really cozy this fall. So I didn't necessarily need pillows. I wasn't looking for pillows, but I just happened to walk by the pillow section at the thrift store and I saw these beauties. I was immediately drawn to the design. It is this floral design. It's almost like it's embroidered, and I thought that this could work for fall because it has the mustard yellow color on the flowers. It has the brown, and even though it has green, I think the overall design does look very autumnal to me. So I was thinking, well, I have those floral pillows on my sectional in the family room, and I would really like to switch those out for fall and winter. There are two of them. They were $3.99 each. And the thing that sealed the deal was that they are feather. The insert is a feather insert for both of them, which means that they're very good quality. So the size was right, the quality was right, the colors were right. So even though I didn't technically need them, I still brought them home because it's not often that you come across such high quality pillows for $3.99 each. This next item is this really charming brass and copper coffee container. This almost didn't come home with me. I was actually at a church sale. We have a local church that holds a big yard sale every summer in the basement of the church. And they set out these really long tables and they put everything on the tables. Nothing is priced. So my husband and I like to check it out because usually the prices are very good. And I'm always looking out for copper items. I love copper. And but I'm getting a little bit more selective because I have so many like the jello molds, so I usually pass those up unless it's something really unique. But I do like to pick up other copper items to sprinkle around my kitchen. So this almost didn't come home with me because I have a hard time haggling with people over the price of something. I don't know what it is about bargaining with someone. I've just always had this mental block about doing it, and even the thought of bargaining with someone over the price of something makes me really nervous. So I saw this at the table at the church sale and I picked it up, and there was a lady behind the table, and I asked her how much she wanted for it, and she told me $10. Now, I looked at it and I thought, I mean, it's nice, but $10 at a church sale, that seems a little bit high to me. So I thought I was going to put it down, but then I thought, you know what? This is the perfect time for me to try out my haggling skills. So I looked at the lady and I said, isn't $10 too much? And she looked at me and she said, well, how much do you want to pay? And I just panicked and I said, how about $2? So she gets this horrified look on her face and she's like, oh no, $2, that's not enough. I mean, look how nice it is. It has a ceramic knob and it's airtight. And I say it's worth at least $8. So I thought, I really don't want to pay $8 for that either. So this was my chance to counter offer. That's usually how bargaining and haggling works. You know, you go back and forth, but I just didn't have it in me. I had thrown out the $2, it had been rejected, and I'm like, okay, I think I'm done for today. So I was getting ready to put it back on the table, and luckily, my husband, who is a master haggler, he was standing at the table next to me, and he saw my predicament. So he looks at the canister, he looks at me, he looks at the lady, and he turns to me and he says, why don't you give the lady $4 and everybody will be happy? So I looked at the lady and I said, would you take $4 for that? And she's like, okay. So I ended up paying $4 for this, thanks to my husband. So needless to say, my haggling skills need some perfecting, but I was pretty proud of myself that at least I tried. I also picked up this floral centerpiece. It was $4.99 at Goodwill, and I immediately thought that this would be perfect as a centerpiece on my kitchen table. I have a seagrass basket that I use to hold my placemats. And if I don't put something on top of it, the cats will go and lay in there, which of course it's a basket. They love baskets. So I always have to keep something on top. And I don't want to put anything there that might get tipped over or broken. So this is nice and flat. I can display a candle in there, and the florals are very fall looking. There are berries, there are artichokes, there are figs, hydrangeas. There are some pine cones, but I think even those can fit into the fall season, not necessarily just for Christmas. So I thought this would be the perfect solution to my kitchen table centerpiece dilemma. So now that I've shared everything that I purchased with you, let's get styling. As you can see, I already have one of those wool blankets on a chair next to my fireplace, and that's like my cozy reading corner. So I was looking for another blanket in a plaid pattern to add to the chair that's on the opposite side of the TV, and I think the blanket that I just thrifted is going to be just perfect for that. Thank you so much for stopping by today. If you enjoyed today's video, you might also like this one.